The payments industry moves fast. The economics behind it move even faster. Welcome to On the Wire, a show about the economics of payments, the institutions moving money, and the infrastructure underneath it all. This episode is produced by payware using AI voice synthesis, built from primary research, technical documentation, and real market data. No studio, no hosts, just the content, clearly presented. Let's get into it.
Welcome to a new deep dive. You know, if you're a business owner, adding a new payment system probably sounds about as appealing as replumbing your house. You expect it to be messy, wildly expensive, and basically require tearing up the floorboards of your website just to make it work.
Right. The standard objection is usually something like, we don't have a massive tech team, so we can't afford a 6-month integration project.
Exactly. But looking at today's sources, specifically a technical integration guide from payware about account to account, or A2A payments, that assumption is just incredibly outdated.
Yeah, setting up A2A is less like replumbing and a lot more like just plugging in a new appliance.
Whether you run a business yourself or you're just a shopper wondering why checkout screens are changing so fast, this is going to completely shift your perspective on how money actually moves.
So if it really is just plugging in an appliance, what does that plug actually look like for a business? There are 3 main paths, depending on your tech setup. The simplest route is an e-commerce plugin, like for a WooCommerce store. That takes maybe, 1 to 2 hours and costs basically nothing.
Hang on. Okay, let's unpack this. 1 to 2 hours for e-commerce sounds a bit like marketing fluff. I mean, is that actually realistic for a company with 0 developers?
It is, yeah, because a plugin is prepackaged code, so you literally just hit install. There's a fashion retailer mentioned in the guide, making 3 million euros a year, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they simply downloaded the plugin, tested it in a sandbox.
Which is like a safe, fake environment, right?
Exactly, just to make sure it works before real customers see it. Then they went live, 2.5 hours of total work, and over 6 months, that quick setup saved them over 4,000 euros in transaction fees.
Okay, so prepackaged code is fast. But what if a business has a highly specific app and needs to build the checkout flow from scratch?
That brings us to the second path, which is custom APIs. That takes about 1 to 2 weeks and costs around 2,000 to 4,000 euros because you're doing custom development.
Makes sense.
And then the third path is physical point-of-sale setups for brick-and-mortar stores. That takes 2 to 3 weeks, but the guide notes that time is mostly just training staff, not heavy coding.
So time is money, obviously, but the actual operational benefits on the back end seem to go a lot deeper than just saving on transaction fees.
Oh, absolutely. A massive advantage is that A2A requires absolutely 0 PCI compliance.
And that's the incredibly strict security standard you need when you handle credit cards.
Right. Because A2A payments don't involve card numbers or CVVs at all, the merchant never even touches the sensitive data.
That makes total sense. It's almost like handing a store owner a $20 bill directly rather than hiring an armored truck to carry your credit card data across town.
That's a really good way to visualize it.
Because you cut out the middleman and the sensitive data, the store owner never has to worry about the truck getting robbed. They just get the cash.
Exactly. And cutting up a plastic solves another major headache, which is involuntary customer churn.
Oh.
Yeah, the guide highlights a custom checkout sauce business that saved 20,000 euros a year on fees, but they also reduced their customer churn by 15%.
Right, because bank accounts don't expire.
Exactly.
Credit cards have physical expiration dates, they get lost, the CVVs rotate, and when that happens, monthly subscriptions bounce. But a bank account just sits there, completely stable.
That stability is a total game changer. But of course, the back end could be absolutely perfect, and it wouldn't matter at all if the customer gets confused and abandons their cart.
Well, yeah, if customers don't recognize the payment method, don't we risk them just leaving entirely?
Well, what's fascinating here is the adoption strategy. You don't just rip away credit cards overnight. You offer A2A alongside them and let the customer choose.
And speaking of choice, I saw in the guide that payware offers 7 different initiation methods. I mean, there are QR codes, NFC taps, and then sound bites?
Yeah, sound bites.
I have to admit, that one caught me off guard. How does sound actually initiate a payment?
It's a brilliant mechanism, really. The payment terminal emits this high-frequency sound wave carrying the encrypted payment data.
Just a sound wave.
Yep. Your phone's microphone picks it up, decodes it, and triggers your banking app to authorize the payment. No tapping or scanning required at all.
That is wild. Still, there has to be a bit of a learning curve for a customer using this for the very first time, right?
There is, yeah. A first-time user takes about 30 to 60 seconds to read the prompt and authenticate in their banking app.
Oh,
But once they know the drill, that drops to 10 to 15 seconds.
so it's essentially as fast as a card tap.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And because the education is front-loaded, a business might see, say, 2% adoption in month 1, but it typically normalizes around 30% of all transactions by the end of the year.
Wow. So A2A integration, powered by providers like payware with transaction fees starting around 0.5%, is highly accessible. You basically bypass massive compliance hurdles and avoid all those nightmarish technical roadblocks.
Yeah, so for you listening, the next time you're checking out and you see a QR code or hear a payment terminal pinging your phone to pay directly from your bank, you'll know exactly the back-end magic making it happen.
It really is just plugging in an appliance. But here's a thought to leave you with. If A2A payments continue to grow and paying direct from bank becomes the global default, what happens to the massive multi-billion-dollar economy of credit card rewards and airline points that so many of us currently rely on?
That's On the Wire, produced by Payware, the transaction resolution network for instant A2A payments. This episode was AI-generated from Payware's published research and documentation. If something sparked a question, the full source material is available at payware.eu. If you work in payments at a bank, an ISV, or a merchant organization, and what you heard is relevant to what you're building, reach out. The conversation doesn't have to stop here. Subscribe to On the Wire wherever you listen to podcasts. The next episode is already waiting.